We always try to bring you brand new boats as they are launched, and behind me here is a brand new world debut being shown for the very first time. This is the new Aiata range of adventure boats. Now, they are a brand new company. They are made in Turkey, but even though it is the first boat they have built, they are a hugely successful company, sort of conglomerate group in Turkey, making billions of dollars. So they have put some serious money into creating their first boat brand. Now, some really interesting things about this boat, a very clever thinking behind it. They have used a designer called Hugo Andreae. He's one of the best known Finnish boat designers. He's responsible for a lot of the axopars, amongst other things, and he has come up with a really impressive looking hull design. Just check this out. You can see there's got two big steps in there. That means that with twin 350 horsepower outboard power, it's very smooth running and will give you a top speed in excess of 50 knots. I believe they've sea trialed this one at 53 knots. Other thing to point out while we're down here is just how big that flaring is on the bow. So you've got a nice narrow entry point at sea level to ensure it cuts cleanly through the waves, but then flares up hugely above it to create a nice dry ride and much more space up on the bow. Now, the other really clever thing they've done is that it's an entirely modular design. And what they mean by that is you have a single hull molding, but then you can adapt it in lots of different ways. So it ends up being a very efficient boat to build and gives you lots of choice when you're speccing the boat in the first place. But the really interesting thing about the way they've done that is that you can retrospectively change it. So rather than having to make up your mind early on whether you want a cabin version like this boat or an open version like this one, you can buy the open version and then fit the cabin doors retrospectively if you decide you need them. And it gives you an enormous amount of flexibility and customization. So all these three boats, you can adapt exactly how you want. You can mix and match all the options you can find. So this is called the cabin version, Wayfinder 38 cabin. This is called the Suntop version. And this one on the other side is called the fishing version. But everything you see on board these boats, you can mix and match to create exactly the boat you want. So let's start off with this fishing version, just because it's the most clear at the moment. We've got twin 350 horsepower V8 Hondas. You can have Mercuries, you can have twin 300s or twin 350s. Really nice open deck design. Now, this is the first time I've seen this. We've got twin gates here, so quite low at the back here to keep the moldings and give you nice clear view out, but then you've got twin gates open up to give a really big gap. And when you're anchored up, either if you're fishing, wanting to pull a big fish in, or you've got kids on board wanting to dive over the side, and of course it gives you a nice open perspective when you're sat on board. This is the fishing module at the back of the boat, and we'll see various other solutions, but if you're into your fishing, then you've got live bait wells, you've got a sink, you've got lots of storage underneath, and you can see it's mounted on tracks, and that's what enables that modularity. We've got a little step there that folds down. We've got a really sociable seating arrangement under this hardtop. You can see that has an extending bimini awning that comes out the back of it. That all rolls up and tucks away if you want to keep it open. And then you've got the nice open deck for fishing. You've got exactly the same gate solution over on this side. And then a lovely sociable area underneath this hardtop. They do some really nice woodwork over in Turkey, and you can see some of that in action here. So this wet bar area here, nice, looks like either teak or oak surround. Good little L shape of seating, lots of nice teak footrests underneath. Very smart little helm station here. I think that's reversible by the looks of things, so you can flip that over. And then you've got seating on three sides. Here's that hard top molding overhead. It looks like you might, I don't know if you can get a sunroof. We'll have a look at some of the other ones, but certainly at the moment that's just some soft padding up there. That flips the other way when you want to take control at the helm station. Really nice, clean design of helm station. You've got a Garmin screen. Obviously, you can choose what you have on there. Here we've got it set up with all the engine information and fuel gauges and so on. Here you've got it with the chart plotter. This is the Optimus 360 joystick control. So even though you're outboard power, you can do it all on the joystick. That will juggle them, ensure you can move the boat sideways without having to work out the correct combination of steering and so on. Those are the Honda throttles. Very smart steering wheel. More of these sort of wooden touches on the handholds. And then even here again, nice wooden handrail, wide, deep bulwarks, giving you good protection as you move up to the helm station. My, they've gone for it here. We've got a full decanter with glasses. I'm not sure that's going to be a particularly good idea on a rough day, but you can see we've got a very nice seating arrangement here. This is a kind of bolster cushion, so you can just lean against this, quite comfortable, but you've got a proper little seating area there. Another nice wooden table, fold up sides. But here's the benefit of that big squared off bow section. You can see how much seating space you get along here. And of course, a lovely flat deck for all the anchor lockers. Very smart pop-up hinges, cleats. And then if we have a peek up here, you can see there is in fact solar panels on top of that roof. So that will help keep all the domestic batteries charged up. The other thing I should point out, I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift this, but I believe this whole section, there's the release button. There we go. So release that. And then this whole section lifts up to the cabin area down below. But rather than show you that from here, I'm going to show you from inside, but you get an idea of how that opens up. So let's make our way through that little gap there in the helm station. Should also point out there's a folding footrest there. And this is the cabin area. So even though it's very much a kind of walk around center console boat, you have got a pretty good cabin down here. There's a very decent size double bed running under that bow area. You've got good hull windows letting in plenty of natural light. And again, more of that nice wood finishing. This is obviously the opening section that I showed you earlier. So if you have this closed, you're not going to have quite so much headroom, but you'll see there are big windows in there. So you will get plenty of natural light. But how nice is it to be able to open that up? If you're in a quiet anchorage, you've got all the privacy, but it means you've also got fresh air. And most crucially of all, we've got a really smart little heads compartment. Again, natural light, opening window, lots of nice woodwork. The loo itself, that can be hidden away. This folds down over it if you want to conceal it. To be honest, it looks quite smart enough as it is. But look, what I wanted to show you is all the different layout options you have. So let's jump off of this one and onto the next door one, and you'll get an idea of just how different it can be. So let's pop on this one. This is the Suntop. This has the twin 350 Mercuries. Now this is without the fishing module, but instead you've got a really big open deck space here. Does this open up? What happens if you open this? So that's just valuable extra storage under there.
And fridge.
Oh, the fridge in there?
Fridge.
Okay. And you can have a bench seat here, presumably, if you want to. We can see that on the next boat. So this has been left much more open. You can see without that sort of square-shaped seating area, you can just have a bench seat across the back there. Same twin helm seat here, reversible backrest again. But this has been left much more open, so you get an idea of the space available. This has a slightly different solution up at the bow area. We'll try and be nice and discreet, but you can see that there's a sunbed area here and a small bench seat forward. So many different options. You can do it exactly how you want. I think the interior is much the same, but perhaps more interesting is what happens over on the cabin version. Looks like it might be a little bit busier, but I'll show you some from the outside. And this is the most interesting aspect, is that you can retrofit this whole cabin area. So you can see it's exactly the same moldings for the main superstructure, but all these side doors and aft doors can be added at a later date. So you can buy an open boat, and then if you feel the need to have a more enclosed, weather-tight solution, you can retrospectively fit these. It's not quite a DIY job, but if you take it to your dealer, apparently in the space of a day or two, they can then fit them. Right, let's have a little bit of a look Might just have to wait for it to empty out a tiny bit. So here is yet another solution for the bow area. I think this is probably my favorite because you've got seating, a kind of relaxed sofa here. It's not quite the full chaise longue, but you can see it's a bit of a longer base, so you can chill out, put your feet up. You've also got seating on all three sides of a nice comfortable table. We've got the sun awning up on this. This is just a simple slot-in poles and a fabric sun awning, but gives you a really good socializing space up on the deck area here without kind of sacrificing any valuable space. And then if we have a look here, now it's emptied out a bit. So here are the big sliding side doors. You can see they literally just slide across like that. And then you've got a fully enclosed pilot house model. But how clever is it that you can actually retrospectively fit this whole molding and all these doors? So that folds down, but you can leave it open, so you've got this lovely throughput of air, good ventilation. This seat folds over, so you can have it facing aft when you want to and join in part of that cockpit area, or that backrest will fold over, and then you've got this sociable area inside the wheelhouse itself. Here we are. You can get the sunroof. I thought you probably could. There's one fitted with a sunroof. The rest of it, very much the same. We've seen the cabin, we've seen the helm, but how clever is it to effectively have three very different solutions, all on the same modular molding, which of course makes it cheaper to build and more affordable to buy. So prices for this start at 300,000 euros, and then you can spec it up to your heart's content and change bits and bobs to suit, mix and match to have exactly the configuration you want. And that is what it looks like from this side. You've got the fishing module fitted at the stern here. You've got the bench facing out in this configuration or facing in, and this whole molding up here, that hinges back down and completes the enclosure. So there you have it. That is the Aiata Wayfinder 38. Now it will become a full range. They're planning a 48 next year, but for the moment there are these three versions, or should I really say one version, but with countless very different options. I think that's a fascinating solution. Do let me know what you make of it. Always interested to read your comments, and thank you as always for watching.